was having a bit of a walk around, having to explore around some new spots, and I found this nice bit of structure. I thought there'd be some nice brim or maybe a soapy under there, so I started skipping plastics underneath the structure. This is a technique that I sort of perfected when I used to do a lot of bass fishing, flicking plastics under trees when I lived in New South Wales. One tip I would give if you are skipping plastic is to use a sort of buoyant sort of soft plastic, so paddle tails around that sort of, those Z-Man or the DAIWA style ones are pretty good, around that 2 to 3 inch. They're just a little bit more buoyant so that it's easier for them to skip. You also want to have only a little bit of your leader showing, so 30-40 centimeters of leader outside of your rod, so you can be a little bit more accurate with your bounces or your casts as well. When skipping plastics, you don't have to have the bounce just before the structure. You can skip it so it bounces a few meters before and then bounces into the area that you want. So a little bit of practice. Here I'm left-handed, so I'm actually having to do like a backhand skip, which is a bit of a pain. So depending on what side you are when you're skipping under bridges or whatnot, it's a little bit easier to do the other way. But it's good to learn how to do both, just in case you're in a situation like this. Let me know in the comments if anyone's interested in any instructional casting videos. The pain. It was a really nice brim, I reckon. It could have even been a soapy. I could see the line just getting taken right in between two posts. I knew I was done. The drag was fairly strong, but I probably could have had it nipped up a little bit higher. I was only using 6 pound Fluorocarbon Leader, which was pretty dangerous for the area. I had the drag set up for more open casting, which I was doing beforehand, so a bit of a mistake there. Having said that, I was dicing with doom there anyway. I then went for a bit of a walk and I found this old rickety jetty, so I thought I'd have a cast to see what was hanging around it. That drag was pretty recognisable. Nice flatty. There was nowhere really nice to land it, so I had to do a swing and hope. If you are going to do this, I'd recommend doing it in one movement. That way the momentum that you make, if your leader snaps while you're pulling it up, will probably still get the fish onto the rocks. So yeah, one movement if you're going to do the swing and hope method. Something that you often will have to do when you're casting around jetties or whatnot if you don't have a net with you. After catching the flatty, I switched to a 4-inch curly tails Z-Man in motor oil. It's just a bit of a bigger profile, and the Flathead are pretty docile at the moment, so showing them a big lure is probably the way to go in my opinion. Just taking my time. I'm going to have to pull him onto the jetty, so I want him to be a little bit tired. Nip up the drag. One movement. Not bad for the winter. Would have been a good table fish if I was fishing for a feed. I was just prospecting around this little jetty, and there was a nice little push out from the rocks there where there was a few fish hanging around. I got a few nice little whacks before this one. In the winter, I reckon fishing around structure, drains, little creeks, or where the flatties might be ambushing any sort of bait fish is a way to go in any time, but particularly around the winter, they're a little bit deeper. Having said that, it's been a pretty uncharacteristic season with it being a pretty mild winter this year. This one felt a little bit bigger. I'm just waiting for it to run. I tried to give it a little bit of a drag so it wasn't so green, but he just was real docile coming straight in. Bang, flicked me off. Probably should have just ripped him in. Doing a really slow retrieve. I've got a 112 jig head on and it's a size 2.0. A little bit smaller. Look where my hand is. Oh, that was a mistake. Gill raker got me good. Nice and slow retrieve. A few little hops. Really slow retrieve when I'm looking back at it. Another little one. After I got this one, thought it was time to pack up and head off. Great little winter sesh. Still kicking myself about that first brim or whatever it was that dusted me good though. Good fun though. Thanks for watching. For more Flathead Perth Metro fishing, please subscribe. Feel free to ask any questions in the comment section.